Ladies and gentlemen, the alpha server is up and running, and the future of Hypixel Skyblock, including many major updates, has been revealed. This is by far the most important video I've ever made. My name is Derailious, and welcome back to Skyblock News. But before we start today, I just want to say we are about 6,500 subs away from 50k, so if you could like and subscribe down below, that really would mean the world to me. On top of this, I recommend joining my Discord down below, as we're hosting a ton of giveaways over there, and it's a beacon for Skyblock News. Without any further ado though, let's get right into the video. Starting off with the most important pieces of information, the AlphaNet is officially online until the release of Skyblock 0.12, which will include the next update to the Dwarven Caves, notably called the Crystal Hallows. On top of this, not just MVP++ will be able to access this, they hope to open it up to all players eventually as traffic slows down. Upon joining the AlphaNet, your Skyblock profile will automatically be copied over. Progress will be saved on the AlphaNet, but will not be reflected on the live network, quite obviously. The AlphaNet will be a chaotic experience, and do not purchase a rank just so you can hop in. Expect the server to restart frequently or even shut down for long periods of time. They're testing things for a reason. On top of this, there's a pretty important reward. If you hop on the AlphaNet at least once, you will be eligible to release a unique, limited item, which is basically a pickaxe, which is pretty cool. Details about this pickaxe will be revealed a little bit later, and there is no special requirement for this, so if you have no rank, as soon as the server comes online for you, which probably will be in a day or two, you can claim it. Moving into the reasons why they're actually doing this, they basically state that there are a ton of bugs and glitches in Skyblock, and they know about them. However, every single future major content release will have an AlphaNet associated with it. So for every major update, there will be an AlphaNet, and that is incredible news for most players, as it allows us to get into the content a little bit earlier and test it, which is pretty nice. Moving on to probably the most important part of this video, we're going to talk about planned content updates, and there are quite a few things to go over. Starting off with the Dwarven Mines update, the Crystal Hallows, it will include some fishing content, and on top of that, a ton of mining content, a bunch of new items and collections, and a new unique way to enhance armor. And yes, this does include things like the Hyperion and Necron armor, which is pretty nice. On top of this, there will be a new island tied to the Foraging skill, releasing later in 2021. Foraging needs an update as massive as mining got with the Crystal Hallows. However, what we are currently planning is nothing anyone could ever guess. More details later. Incredibly excited about this one, another skill that needs improvement, and this will definitely make a ton of people really happy. Moving on here, we have a revamp of an old classic coming later in 2021, which will be the Blazing Fortress revamp. As you can see on screen now, they state that the Blazing Fortress is completely useless in the player progression at the moment. They're certain that we can figure out which one it is, and yes, it is the Blazing Fortress, and please note that there is a chance that this revamp is pushed to 1.0, but at the moment they are planning on releasing it before. We'll be changing this island so much that at this point it's basically a completely new island. It will also be in a different spot in the player progression, late game, which is pretty cool, and I'm really happy to see it. Some more combat content is really nice to see. Hopefully we get some combat 75 skill or something like that in this one, and it's pretty nice that it's coming out either later this year or sometime next year. Finally, we have the 1.0 release, which will occur in 2022. As they state here, they have a massive set of plans for 1.0, and it will come with a complete rebalance for the entire game, a ton of new islands, and a ton of new features. They will talk more about it in the next few months, and they will basically be removing it from the prototype lobby at that point. Please note that development is in an extremely early state for 1.0, and they have no clue when it will be released. If you get too hyped and they delay it to 2023, don't say I didn't warn you. I don't really expect this to be delayed to 2023, it feels like they do have the ability to get it out in 2022, but we'll just have to wait and see how they're actually able to do it. Moving on to the post 1.0 world, they're considering moving the game to 1.17, however this is not a guarantee. The reason being is because they think that it would force players to play Skyblock on the most recent version of Minecraft, and it might cause some issues. However, they do think that it would be better, because obviously there would be new monsters, better UI, better highlights, new blocks, etc. I do agree, it's probably better to move the game to the more modern versions, especially as more and more content is being added in every single update. Moving on to the whole rebalance part, which yeah was a thing I kind of brushed over, it's that big of an update. They do state that they are going to make sure that this is done well, and they state their analysis and reasons why it needs to happen, which I kind of agree with. Early game players are left in the dust, end game players do billions of damage, all of this stuff has been said 1,000 times before, and it's still their reason for why they have to balance the game out. I understand that endgame players should be dealing more than early game players, and they agree with that. However, the level and the discrepancy is just way too high. It is too much of a numbers grind. The early game players are doing 100 damage, the end game are doing 10 million. That is a massive, massive difference that I don't think really is healthy for the game, and they tend to agree with that. On top of this, they're stating that they're going to make sure it works because they're going to put it on the AlphaNet for every step of the progress. So as the update continues to be made, everyone will be able to put in their say, make their voice heard, and basically talk about what they want to see buffed and nerfed in future content, which I do agree with. As long as this is done with the players and input, I think it'll be fine. We'll just have to wait and see though. They wrap up this long and rambly document by basically stating that the AlphaNet is only for Skyblock due to the nature of its economy and persistence of inventories. However, they do come bearing good news, because older games on the network will be getting some buffs, notably Bed Wars, which is pretty cool to see. On top of that, they have another few games that might actually get some attention, which is also pretty nice. Honestly, this document is incredibly impressive. It comes with a ton of information, and is probably the most honest the admins have ever been with us, which is really nice to see. I'm incredibly glad about this, and yeah, it's just one of the best things I've ever seen in Skyblock's history, and that's not even like an exaggeration or anything. Really great stuff here. Wrapping up here, if you guys want the opportunity to read this forum post for yourself, I will have it linked down below. And yeah, I'm just generally really excited. I'm kind of blown away, actually. You might have noticed throughout this video that I was kind of more expressive than usual, and that's because I'm just incredibly excited. This is all really good information, I'm glad they're being more public about it, and I hope it continues going forward. At the end of the day though, my name is Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.